It is ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. We want to welcome back you into the program. We appreciate you checking us out right here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, which is the channel that you need to subscribe and like. And also make sure you check us out on the audio side as well. Wherever you download your podcast, we can be found there. So make sure you go out and do that. But this is the segment that we call For the Culture, where we talk about different things that affect us, and whether it be pop culture, whether it be the African American culture, all that stuff comes together right here on For the Culture. T. Now, when you sent me this story, I kind of had to kind of take a step back, right? And because my initial thoughts was like, what in the absolute world? and I've, after taking another look at it, I think I am going to say the same thing. UCF, UCF, in their spring game, they had players with the jerseys on, normal jerseys, normal type of situation.
Right.
But instead of numbers, they had QR codes on the back of the jerseys, and everybody got the phones and the smartphones. Where they can check it out and look at it. So if you scan the QR code, essentially it takes it to the player's profile.
Yes.
And on that profile, there are four categories. Four categories. You got your social media info, which is pretty normal. That's kind of how everybody get down nowadays. They have a merch section that you can click on. All right, okay, we're getting a little IG model-ish there, but that's okay. And then outside of the social media info, they have a IG. The IG has its own tab by itself. So whatever that is. And then last but not least, this is where I really just I'm like, all right, man, they got a tab for contact information. So I guess that's where your for bookings and all that stuff in business, you contact the players.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, T.
Yeah.
I understand it. Trying to get some money for these guys, like all in for it. But I just thought this was just a little weird. What about you?
Especially because you and I talked about a partnership with HBCUs that's a little bit more organized and a little bit more structured, but is still the intent is the same.
A little bit more professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and when you have it's just that program is a bit more streamlined by an entity that's done this before. So we felt like, okay, that could create a blueprint.
This is what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That could create a blueprint that maybe can be used across all of the NCAA. But this seems still just a slight bit random. I mean, or a bit much. I do like the tab where you can get the contact information. I actually heard a former UGA player, I apologize for forgetting his name, but a former player who now oversees a foundation, and he's helping players to navigate these spaces. Those are the kinds of things that I think are more appropriate. Maybe this is going a step too far before we've even figured out steps 1 and 2 and 3 of how to help these guys to navigate all this. So that's kind of my question. Like, okay, if they get contacted, who's going to help them navigate? Like, who's the middle person, the way they would have an agent if they were, say, in the league? And then here's a selfish thing for Jarvis and me as color commentators. You think I want to have to figure out what your number is?
Ooh, come on.
And your spring game is a way for me, an opportunity for me as the color commentator
to know who you are.
Who you are. And so, because, hey, the number that you're wearing this year might not be the number that you wore last year, right? Or so I don't know all of these things. And so, I know that's selfish of us, but it does essentially help us to try to figure out who it is that we are watching as we're calling games. So my thought was, okay, is this just going to be a spring thing like this? Is this just a trial run for the spring game? Or is this something that's going to start happening in regular season games and it's going to catch on? I sure hope not, because it's tough enough trying to watch a game, react to what's going on within each and every play, and then each and every drive. And now I have to kind of sort of figure out who you are. Man, no.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not
doing too much.
It's just a little bit too much, and it feels like it's kind of like just put together, right? Because you got the social media info tab, then you have your merch tab, then
Yes.
you have your IG. What if you ain't got
Right.
no
And then your
merch? Like, so,
contact is like, yeah.
your contact is what? The AD, your email, the school email
Yeah.
or something? I'm like, come on, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
I think they're putting a little bit too much thought into it. That makes sense because I think like UCF isn't a small school. It's not an HBCU. I think their budget is probably at least maybe close to being double of the budget of maybe a FAMU or even Alabama State.
Yeah.
So I think that you can afford to put some people in place and say, hey, okay, make sure nothing goes wrong. Make sure you handle all of these situations. If it comes to the situation where we need to put something like this together where everybody has their own profile and everybody has their own QR code, okay, that's fine. But until then, let's kind of just play it how it goes because everybody's trying to figure this thing out, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think you need to put the players in a situation where something just looks like it was just slapped together and just like nobody's out here monitoring this stuff, and then you can contact the players directly. And I was like, all right, man, like let's regroup and come up
Yeah.
with a better plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Well, speaking of regroup, that's what we're gonna do. Right? We gotta
Right, of course.
get regrouped and reset and all the re's of the world to get ready for you guys tomorrow.
We'll get ready for us tomorrow, and the thing that we're gonna do with that is we're gonna let you know what happened out in LA.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, Clayton Kershaw and Huskar, will be on the mound, so we're gonna be talking about all of that tomorrow. And is it Freddie's house? The Braves are coming to Freddie's house. I don't think he hasn't been playing that well, in order for him to claim that. So we will definitely be talking about the return. Is Freddie gonna give hugs? Is he gonna give out a Freddie hug? We're gonna be talking about all that tomorrow on ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and T. T, take us out. Get that benediction, please. Coming off of Easter Sunday.
I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend, Easter weekend, Resurrection Sunday. But I also hope that you know what's in that background. That's the Atlanta Dream, looking to resurrect this franchise and rebuild and restore and get them back to the top. So they are starting training camp today, and we're going to talk about their progress throughout this week. Rock with those girls because you need to do it for the dream.
Do it for the dream, and we're going to do it for you tomorrow. So come back. ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra.
See ya.